Have you ever been a bit hard on a student just to learn they were going through a particularly rough time? It can be so hard to navigate the demands of life, even as an adult, and especially as a teacher. Now, imagine having a brain that isn't fully developed yet. I'm Nicole Johnson from the Utah Education Network, bringing you your latest teacher tip. It's important that we check in with our students and take a proactive approach to supporting them, rather than letting things boil over and upsetting the classroom environment. Gauging the emotional temperature of your classroom not only provides a proactive approach to help you key in on students who may need additional support, but it also helps prevent unknowingly damaging relationships with students who may be having a hard time. Check-ins model emotional intelligence, regulation skills, promote belonging and connectedness, and strengthen the student-teacher relationship, an important relationship in suicide prevention. Here are 4 quick check-in activities you can do in your own classroom. Based on Dr. Mark Brackett's book, Permission to Feel, emotions are broken down into 4 quadrants that correspond with a color. By introducing these emotions to your students, you can implement a mood meter to check in. This is great as a walk-in activity at the start of class, during attendance or transitions, or any time that you think it would be helpful. Find a link to this Kahoot so you can use it with your students to check in. And although technology is great, you can always find creative ways to model the mood meter, such as filling jars with colored pom-poms or using sticky notes on a bulletin board. Or implement the Thorn Roses activity. This is another great activity to allow students to share out a thorn, something negative or not quite as positive, like, I spilled my breakfast all over my clothes this morning, or perhaps a rose, maybe something like, I aced my science test, or I just read a really good book. Find the link below to a Nearpod digital collaboration board that allows your students to post their thorns or roses, or find other creative ways to host a Thorns and Roses activity. One of my favorites, which is usually very popular with secondary students, is creating a Spotify playlist. Students can either add their own songs or share the names of the songs they would like you to add to the playlist. Not only can you use playing the playlist as a reward or during special occasions, but it also allows you a small window into the emotional temperature of your students by browsing what kind of songs they're listening to. Find the link below to learn how to create a playlist or how to have your students add their own songs to your playlist. And while all this tech is great, don't forget that the whole point of check-ins are the human element. Let students create their own check-in questions and have them discuss them in groups for 2 minutes. Join a group and get to know your students. Or you could ask AI for prompts. Use ChatGPT or Perplexity AI to come up with some fun icebreaker questions that your students can discuss. You may already be implementing some form of check-ins with your students, but if you want more ideas or want to change up your style, there are plenty more ideas online. Check out Yays, Nays, and Hip Hip Hoorays from the Edutopia website. Whichever route you choose, having these discussions in your classroom builds a supportive culture within your relationship to your students and even the relationship students have with their peers. We'll see you next week with UEN's latest and greatest teacher tips.